Good morning
Morning.
from Selçuk, Turkey. It's about just after 8 in the morning, and we are here at Ephesus. Ephesus was, along with the Temple of Artemis, was considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. And this complex is massive, and we have beat all the buses here.
Yeah, so it's going to take us about 3 hours to
About
see
3 hours
everything.
to see everything. And this actually was first built in the 10th century before Christ. And then in the 1st century before Christ, the Romans took over. But a lot of history happened here. St. John, the apostle of Jesus, lived here after Jesus was executed. John moved here to Ephesus, and this is where they believe he wrote the Gospel of John. So we're going to go look around, and we're going to take you along for our walk here. So we will see you at the first stop. This is the Grand Theater at Ephesus, and it holds 24,000 people. And typically when Romans built cities, they would make sure that the theater would hold at least 10% of a city's population. So the estimates are that this city's population was about 240,000 at least. So back in the ancient time, 2,000 years ago, it was a very large city. There is at least one other smaller theater in this city, which I'll talk about later. Now, this is the famous Hadrian's temple, made for Emperor Hadrian, Roman emperor, and this is another important site here at Ephesus and a tourist favorite. This is the Hercules Gate. The relief on the left-hand side is Hercules, and it is a pretty famous passage here where a lot of tourists like to get their photo taken, including me. This is another long promenade down Ephesus here, leading into the Celsus Library. I'm being very selective in what I'm filming because this site is literally miles long, and if I were to film everything that looked very interesting, it would be a 2-hour movie. So this is just incredible to think of what humans created thousands of years ago with just human labor. This is the Library Celsus, which was built in the year 100 AD, and this was built for a Roman senator by his son, and they used to keep, as the name implies, scrolls and other reading material in this library. But this is probably the most prominent and famous of the ruins here in Ephesus. Well, this is the commercial market area, and behind me is the Agora Gate, and legend has it that that's where the term agoraphobia comes from, the fear of tight spaces and crowded areas, but I'm not sure if that's true. But I'm going to walk along here, and this is where vendors had their stalls, and the roofs are no longer here, but they would have their wares and their whatever they were selling in these little areas here. Look to be about the size of 10 by 20 feet. But they go all the way down here, and the entire area here is maybe the length of 3 football fields, and it's just comprised of all these little individual shops where they would sell their wares. And this was a central square here, another area where people of Ephesus would come together. These were the Roman toilets.
In a building with stinky smell,
right here.
In circulation. Otherwise, the rest of the building had a wooden roof. Still, a beautiful mosaic floor.
Not much in privacy, but a lot of them. This was plumbing 2,000 years ago.
The slaves would take the fabric off. Yes, definitely. Nice job.
This is the remains of a Roman villa, about 2,000 years old, that was preserved under cover. They put a permanent structure above it to prevent any damage to the villa from the elements. This room below me is very interesting. The most prominent thing is the lion mosaic on the floor, and it's turned upside down for me. And then some frescoes on the walls. I see bird frescoes and various vines. They're very interesting. This was built in the first century AD. So here is something that has absolutely nothing to do with the ruins here in Ephesus. This is a really cool pomegranate tree. This is pomegranate season, and it has got pomegranates all over it. But pomegranates grow in the Middle East, and I used to eat them quite a bit when we lived in Iran. But pretty cool. Trem loves them.
I love pomegranates. They're very labor intensive.
Yes.
To get the fruit open, and then
so Trent always peels my pomegranates for me because I'm lazy. Well, Trent and I just finished 4 hours of exploring Ephesus, and we could have been here 4 days. Probably felt like 4 days, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So a lot of ruins, a lot of tourists that look like ruins.
Lots of large tour groups.
This is a massive complex. Trent and I have been to ancient ruins like this all over the world, Asia, Europe, and this by far is the largest and most impressive just for all the ruins still here. And it was especially meaningful for Trent and I, being Christians, because of the biblical tie-in with the Mother Mary and with Apostle John. They moved here eventually because Jesus asked John to care for his mother. And we saw St. John's tomb at another site, and then we just saw the Church of Mary here, and Virgin Mary lived here too. Some people say she died here as well. Others don't believe that, so I'm not sure. But St. John definitely did die here in Ephesus. But
so much history in this area. I didn't
really
know much about it, but it's so interesting.
From both the historical and biblical, and with the original Greeks that settled this, and then the Romans. So it's we came here for that very reason here in Western Turkey, and I'm glad we did. So we'll say goodbye from Ephesus.
Goodbye.